Willow Talk as we bask in the glory of Australia winning another test match by 8 wickets. Alyssa, Healy, Adam Peacock in the studio with you. Brad Haddon has enjoyed himself so much in Brisbane. He's gone AWOL. He'll be back later in the week. How did you enjoy that?
It all happened very quickly, which I think we assumed might take place at the back end of the test match, but loved every minute of it. I mean, as an Aussie fan, wowee. But in saying that, the test match finished with a little bit of spice, finally. So hopefully Adelaide lives up to that hype on the last night.
We'll get to that in a moment. And congratulations through to the finals of the WBBL.
Yeah,
smashed Adelaide on Sunday at North Sydney Oval.
Yeah, held on for dear life. I was actually going to wear my Sixers hat today, but I thought I'd get a few eye rolls, so I didn't. But yes, the Sixers are in the final. Somehow, this is how crazy the competition was this year. Yesterday's game was a knockout. So basically, we could have missed out on finals.
Yes.
And by winning, we've now finished second, which means we host the final. So please tell me how that works, but that is the way that the WBBL has rolled.
Well, it's a good comp. That means it's a good comp because you want that to go down to essentially the last game, and it went down to essentially the last over,
last
didn't
ball.
it? Last ball.
Last ball.
So Hobart will sit back, have the week off. They'll wait for the winner to sort themselves out between yourselves, Perth and Melbourne Stars.
Correct. And then we down in Hobart on Saturday night for see how we go.
Oh, it's a wonderful time of year for cricket, especially in Australia. And for those English tourists who now don't have to watch cricket for 10 days, they can enjoy Australia before getting to Adelaide.
Watch the WBBL. It's competitive at least.
Exactly. And you won't be disappointed, England, because there's a couple of players in there.
You got a few Pommy players floating around the WBBL. They've actually had really good seasons as well. So, I mean, get right behind the girls.
Exactly. Swap those Barmy Army shirts for a different colour one. Just a shout out as well, speaking of hats, you were going to wear your Sydney Sixers one. I met Jenko on day 4 at the Gabba. Obviously didn't do the wrap-up there because we wanted to do the wrap-up in the studio. But Jenko, he's from Tintumbar East Ballina Cricket Club up there. And this is one comfortable hat.
Yeah, it looks comfy on your head.
Yes, which is hard to do.
You keep saying that, but every hat you put on seems to fit you.
No.
Whereas Pinhead over here does not fit any of them. This is like a child's hat right now, and it's still too big on me. I have a 4-year-old nephew, and we're basically sharing hats at the moment because we have the same size head.
Kiddie section.
Yeah.
Well, good news is as well, Alvin, a man from Perth, with the hat that he passed on from Willerton Crows. There's one in the mail for you coming.
Yay.
Kitty size.
A kitty size one?
Yeah,
excellent.
exactly.
Well, I'll rep that with pride.
We are going to review the second test in detail with Heels and look at the positives from the Australian side and what England can do to find some positives somehow out of this, because it's turning a bad shade of you-know-what really quickly for them. A few Sundries, Secret Cricket Club, a few questions for Heels. But let's rip into it. And a reminder to follow us on Apple, Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps us a lot. If you leave a review comment, we would love your feedback and we'll read some of them. Follow and get in contact with our socials at Willow Talk Podcast. And thanks to everyone. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it'd be great if more people started commenting on things so that your burner account doesn't have to do it for us. We've heard that there's a lot of glowing reviews for Adam on there. We don't really understand why.
They've been deleted.
He may
by
be the glue of the
producer.
show, but I mean, Hads and I are the stars. So stop glowing him with praise, please.
No, I'm
He just reads from a sheet, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the clag glue of the show. It just peels away when a bit of heat comes on. Anyway, thanks for everyone listening around the world. Hey, what about this one? We've got a couple of European listeners.
Cool.
Heels. Felix from France and Ben from the mighty Talon Hippos in the Estonian Cricket Association. Wow. And he's an Adelaide native and would love to give us a Hippos hat as he's back for the next test in Adelaide.
I mean, I'm worried about what that might say, that I really want a Hippos hat, but then I'm like, you have to be careful how you give that to a female, but I will want a Hippos hat. That is the coolest thing ever. That is also the greatest name for a cricketing team I think I've ever heard.
The Talon Hippos.
Yep.
Talon being the capital of Estonia, as you well know, Heels.
Yes. I was quite good at geography, actually.
Were you?
Yeah.
Got it covered.
Yep.
But the Talon Hippo, I'd love to know.
What colour is it?
Don't know. I don't want to ruin it by looking online. I want to be surprised when we get a Hippo's hat. And I'll tell you what, I won't take that one. I'll save it for you because you're so enthusiastic
Please, just make
about
sure
it.
it's small.
Okay, yeah. Ben, Kitty one, please.
Yeah.
The club is flying in Europe because Binger has actually played a few times for the Talon Hippos, and he's a proud backer of the club. And we've got some artwork as well from Aditi. Anton is the artist. He's a 19-year-old. They were inspired by Roland Garros artwork. Producer Joel's going to bring him in right now. They're very cool. So I don't know if you've seen the Roland Garros artwork for the French Open.
This is awesome.
It is inspired by that. Mitch has just taken out the umpire on the way there. But
I think that he might struggle getting an LBW from there, but I mean, you'd have to make it like that to sort of work with the artworks. That is really cool.
Art, you need to be symmetrical and, it's all about the aesthetic.
They've even got his action down pat.
Yeah.
And that looks like potentially Harry Brook, so squaring up to get hit on the pad. So they've nailed it.
Yeah, Anton, brilliant work, mate. Just 19, what a talent. And inspired by the Roland Garros artwork, which is very, I don't know art. There's a word for this, what kind of style it is. But
I won't lie, it looks like if there wasn't glass there, it's giving me Stroke the Fairy Walls vibes.
Thanks for that.
Stroke the Fairy Walls, Stroke the Fairy Walls.
Okay, yeah. I got it. I'm glad you're amusing yourself over there. Well done.
What a film.
You can buy your own prints, maybe a Christmas present from Oditi, ODITI.com. Anton, you're a legend, mate. Thank you very much for that.
Very cool. I was taking the piss then, but that is actually really cool.
Gabba test review. What do you want to start with?
Let's get stuck in.
What do you want to start with?
Where do we begin?
Man of the Match Awards. He's the king. He's not back with his trophy yet, but...
Well, I will have to point out the fact that on our group chat, someone who gets punted every now and then from our group chat, our old producer, did float the idea of Alex Carey being player of the match, which was shut down really quickly by myself on the couch.
As well as Alex kept... Mitch did have a bit of a lead with a 6-4 and a 77, grinding England into the, as I said, beautifully manicured plush outfield. Not the dirt, the plush outfield of the Gabba. Yeah. It was hard going for them on that. When Mitch was he was doing the anti-Bazball style for a purpose, and a very good purpose, because it felt like session 1 was the time to bat.
Yep.
I think minimal wickets fell. I think 6 wickets over the 4 days fell in session 1. Yeah. Was that the test match there and then? That little partnership?
Pretty close to it. And I think Mitch will probably take a lot of the glory from it. But I actually think Scotty Boland down the other end did a heck of a job just as much as Mitch. Mitch probably kept the scoreboard ticking over to an extent. But I think Scotty's role keeping them out at the other end and actually giving Australia the opportunity to bat longer, I thought was a real turning point in the game. To grind their bowlers down, I think Jofra Archer bowled, the least amount of overs out of that seam attack with 25, I think it was in the end. They're bowling 28, 29 overs in that first innings. That's tough. No wonder he brought a pillow because I'd be wanting to lie down as well. But I think that was crucial, and I think that probably frustrated them. And we know that if you can frustrate that environment and that team and put them on the back foot in that regard, they'll still come out swinging, don't get me wrong, but I think that sort of was a real turning point in the game.
Yeah, it was. You could see the air going out of them during that, and it was so hot, like that 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock period at the Gabba before the shade gets over. Yuck. And it gets trapped in there. So it just added to just the soul gradually leaving the bodies of those 11 Englishmen out there.
Yeah, and you could see it. And we've all been on the field where that happens and you do drop your body language a little bit, and that's just part and parcel of the game. But you could see the visual frustration on the captain. He's an emotional captain and a tremendous leader. I don't doubt that one bit, but you could see it on his face. And I think as soon as it shows up on the captain's face like that, you're in strife, and that starts to filter down through the ranks.
Brad Haddon is calling.
Oh my God, answer.
Hang on, I'll answer. Hads, we're on air. We're actually recording now, so this is going to go on the podcast. How are you?
How are we all?
Yeah, good.
I don't know what's happened, but Adam's totally redeemed himself, and I'm still locked in my hotel room. I can't find my flight.
I've redeemed myself. How have I redeemed myself?
I'll talk to you later. Bye.
was okay. Anthony Albanese has interrupted our podcast before, and that was really cool. But Brad Haddon interrupting his own podcast is a whole other level.
Cheers, Hads. See you later in the week.
What an idiot!
Appreciate it. He's going to invoice for that as well.
He will.
Where were we?
Where were we?
Okay.
Body language
and Mitch's role in all of that. So could you, watching the TV, because it was noticeable there, but just for the wider audience who are obviously watching the game on TV, was it noticeable the Australian intent when they were trying to do what they were doing at different conditions, obviously, as opposed to the English, the way they were going about it? Like, especially on day 4 when Australia were like, they had the momentum, but it was trying to be wrested away by Ben Stokes. How they went about it in the hot sun as opposed to how England went about it in the hot sun.
Yeah, well, I think we're used to grinding that out a little bit more, and that's probably the way. It's probably a reflection on Bazball, in that's how they want to play. They want to play this, attacking style of cricket, and they do that with the ball as well. I mean, they actually changed the game quite quickly before that partnership, getting Steve Smith out with the short ball plan. Cam Green as well, they actually ruffled him up enough to make an error. So they want to play this really attacking style of cricket, but Australia were able to sort of snuff that out pretty quickly, whereas I think the Aussies with the ball knew that at some point it's going to break. They can't do this forever, and that's probably what keeps you in the fixture a little bit longer. You know that they're going to make an error at some point in time just by the way that they want to approach it. I thought Jackson Stokes did a really good job. Will Jackson's technique actually looked really good under pressure. Ended up playing one half a loose stroke, an absolute moment of brilliance in the field, got them the wicket and kind of broke it open. And then you look at Alex Carey's catch as well, just one minor little blip from Ben Stokes, and it changes the game. So it just felt like Australia could withstand that pressure for longer periods of time, and that's with bat and ball. And I think ultimately that's what got them over the line.
Just on Mitch, 3 player of the matches in his first 99. Now he's got 3 on the bounce. Is he in career best at the moment?
It seems like it, and I don't. People roll their eyes and go, "That's his wife talking," but it's actually really cool to watch. Like in that,
you're allowed to be biased.
I am, but I am. I'm quite unbiased a lot of the time. As with the amount of shit that I give him, but like, I don't know. I feel like in moments, and you probably see it throughout like his World Cup careers as well. Like he tends to stand up when need be, and I think there's always a lot of talk about leadership in different areas of life and cricket and whatnot, and he's never really wanted to step into any of those roles. But funnily enough, when it's almost thrust upon him, not with a captain or a vice captain next to his name, but an opportunity to lead a bowling attack, he loves it. He thrives on it, and ends up doing really well and sort of just showing the team how to do it. So from my perspective in that regard, that's been really cool to watch. He's really thrived on that, and obviously Pat's looking fit and firing and ready to come back for Adelaide. But in my eyes, I hope that doesn't change in Mitch's eyes either, that he still wants to go out there and lead the attack and get the job done. Yeah,
for all intents and purposes, Pat, the background there in the nets, he was doing a lot of batting, he was doing a lot of bowling. I can't see him not playing in Adelaide.
I think he's verbally said that I want to be there in Adelaide, and I think he was on the cusp of playing in Brisbane from all reports, but I think it was sort of not quite worth the risk. Probably knowing that Cam Green's been a little bit underdone with the ball as well, taking 2 guys into a test match that aren't quite ready with ball in hand, probably not ideal. So to have him fit and firing for Adelaide is, I would say, for an English team is a little bit daunting.
We'll discuss it later in the week with Hads. We'll kick it around about what that 11 looks like for Australia and Adelaide. It could look like what we expected in Perth before things started to fray. But we'll get to that later in the week because we want to revisit late in the game. The game was gone. And, the result is known. But all of a sudden, there's a little flick of the match on it. And Jofra going at Steve and Stephen putting him in his place, unfortunately. And it's the ultimate insult from an Australian to anyone who's a champion. And that's exactly what Jofra got. What did you make of all that?
Well, the fact that it was a champion, I think, did it for me. It wasn't just a champ. He threw on the eon at the end, which... for those outside of Australia, is the ultimate insult. It's a slap down.
Yeah.
If you can actually roll that off your tongue and say it to someone. But really interesting one for me. I mean, what I took from that scenario right there is frustration, first and foremost. If I was an Aussie fan, I'd be sitting there laughing and going, here we go. We've rattled them enough that it takes 6 cracks, 6 days for Jofra Archer to flip the switch. What that means moving forward, I'm not sure. But I also saw, and this is probably why Ben Stokes is so loved within his own team and that environment, is a guy who was frustrated that whole test match, get right in behind his fast bowler as well, which, you know, might seem a little bit silly to a lot of people, but he was right there. Jake Weatherald had a little crack at Jofra as well. Ben's there telling him, putting him in his place and kind of standing behind his players, which I like to see as a captain. That's why these guys follow him and he leads by example and they want to play under him, which is really cool. But I think for the incident itself, a little bit late, I would suggest. I mean, having that in that first innings when you got the ball in hand probably would have been a little better than when we need 20 runs to win.
Look, there's, 9 days before the next test start as we sit here right now? It's a pretty simple conversation. It's not something that needs to bleed over the 9 days from England to Jofra. It's just said, see that there, what you did. Can you do that like at the start of each spell that you have?
Yeah.
Just try it. See how you go and see what comes off the back of it, because good things might happen. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they actually show him the video of what he was doing. But
it actually, it reflected where they went wrong with the ball a lot of that innings, in that they bowled too short. I mean, Mitch actually reaped the rewards, our bowling attack probably reaped the rewards of pitching the ball up, making people drive the ball down the ground, and they got a lot of wickets for that. England got a couple of their wickets with the short ball plan because that's the plan B, but they actually bowled way too short that whole test match. And didn't give themselves an opportunity to make Australia play enough. And I think that reflected in that moment. He's bowling short at Steve Smith with 20 runs to win to the short side. That's not smart cricket, in my opinion. And I think that I'd reflect more on that and go, that wasn't the right thing to do at that point in time. Because
totally forgotten is the fact that Jofra Archer in his first spell of the match had one ball hitting the stumps in 4 overs.
Yep.
As opposed to, you look at how Australia got England 6 for on the third night.
Yep.
Joe Root, everything's full.
That's that would be more of a concern for me, and that would be what I would be debriefing out of the test match, is how could we not adjust to conditions quicker? And they've come from Perth, which is similar. When you think about it, you actually got to pitch the ball up there to get the results that you're after. The Gabba exactly the same. They made it really easy for Australia to leave the ball, and ultimately in that tail end performance from our batters in that second innings, they just weren't attacking the stumps enough and made it really easy for the boys to go, we don't have to play at that delivery.
You ever travelled with a pillow and taken it everywhere with you?
No, but a few players I know do, but they just don't carry it around in public. They tuck it in bags and...
Or give it to a member of staff and say...
No, some of the staff travel with it too, which is a little bit sad. But
I can understand why
stick
Jofra...
it in a bag.
Yeah. I can understand why he takes it to the ground, because you've got time to go go and have a sleep in the sheds and everything like that.
Correct.
But... Yeah, the problem is for Jofra, when we get to Adelaide, someone is going to throw a teddy bear over the fence.
I think the way I look at it now is that if you're going to do this, that sort of make that decision to carry that pillow into the ground, you know what's waiting for you at the moment. The Australian media, I've never seen them act like the way they are currently, that they're onto everything. There's cameras at the golf course, right? I've never seen that for a touring side before. You know what's going to unfold. Someone's going to take a photo of that. It's going to go out. Your own media back home are going to have a comment on that. All your past players are going to comment on that. The Australian media are going to comment on that and probably rip in about the perception of that. So if that doesn't faze you, fine. If you're not worried about that, how that reflects on your team, fine. But I think that's like a moment where you go, do we want this right now? Do we need this right now after you just bowled that many overs in the first innings? Probably not.
I know for certain that there'll be some kind of camera crew, some kind of situation with a drone at a golf course in Noosa this week that they won't be able to escape it. So how they deal with it in that sense. Because let's get to England right now. Bazball, Bazbubble. Good point to make here about something I picked up. Because fortunately at the Gabba, your overflow seats for members of the media is actually right down near the fence next to the England bench, which is next to the Australian dugout. But on the other side, on the right-hand side to where we're sitting, is members of the public who get in early, and that's where the Star Wars crew was sitting.
Yep.
Man, would they have had a long Sunday after their big Saturday. Anyway, all 3 days, I noticed any time an English player got out or came near the boundary, there was advice coming from to my right. But when a player got out, they'd all stand up and a few people would give him a send-off and say a few things But an England security guard would go out the front of their dugout to where we were at the front of us and scan the crowd for anyone saying anything that he saw as an insult or anything untoward. Fan out. I saw one guy get up and sarcastically clap Ben Stokes, and he had his wife and child there and go, "Well played, Ben. Great innings, mate." Security guy came out and went, "Him." Got the security over.
Oh, no.
Out you go. Now, I get it.
Yeah.
You want to protect your players. However, I'll go as far to say that this might be an indication of where they're at with their heads in the bubble. And you've been in sporting teams where you have to put yourself.
Mate.
What's that?
The bubble's starting to crack.
The bubble's starting to crack. It's like, what is going on inside that bubble? And I know Brendan McCullum is really good with his positive mindset, and that's awesome. That's fantastic. That's probably what you want as a sports person, to say, yeah, like it's about what I can do, not don't do something.
Yep.
But if you're that sensitive to anyone trying to put you off, it's going to be a long, long tour, and it ain't going to turn out well.
Well, yeah, and maybe these are measures that they put in place before the tour unfolded. So maybe that's something they spoke about, that they knew that they potentially might cop a little bit of grief in the crowd. I mean, every international team coming here cops it. Every international team going anywhere in the world cops it. It doesn't matter where you go. That's just part and parcel of the game, as sad as that might sound. But that's what you're prepared for as an athlete. You're like, I'm going to England. We're playing an Ashes series. I know I'm absolutely going to cop it from the crowd at some point in time for doing whatever wrong, i.e. Jamie Smith dropping that ball and being Bronx cheered the rest of the day every time he caught the ball. That's just part and parcel of it, and you've got to be mentally tough enough to accept that, move past it and let it go. So, yeah, I'm just going to assume that these are things they put in place to try and protect themselves, thinking that it might help, but at the end of the day, it might actually be detaching them from reality just a little bit too much. And I think that's kind of reflecting in their cricket and some of their statements after the game as well. I actually think Ben Stokes shoulders too much of the accountability for everything. I've full praise for him that he stands there at the end of every test match that they lose and say, I'll take accountability for this. I did this wrong. I did that wrong. I've never heard any of the other teammates say that. How about taking a little bit of load off your captain and saying, "Hi, my name's Harry Brook. I played a shocking shot twice this test match, and I put our team under the pump went unnecessarily twice." I've never heard him come out and say that. It's like, that's the way I play. I'm probably going to get out doing that every now and then. But there's your captain standing there sticking up for him, saying, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. Like, for me, that screams trouble, and that's creating a bubble environment that him and Brendan obviously are trying to empower their players to be good enough to be out there and compete. But that bubble's going to start to crack at some point. Ben Stokes is going to start to crack at some point. And if I was his teammate right now and I genuinely cared about my captain, I'd do something about it, because it's not good enough. And it's a little bit, if I was an English fan, I'd be worried, because that's going to come crashing down at some point in time.
Like mid-test, they put up the assistant coach, Marcus Trescothick. It's never a good sign, by the way, when the assistant coach is doing media mid-match. Yeah. Things aren't humming.
No.
Things aren't going well.
No. We're probably not going to put a player up to that right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not even going to put the coach up. We're going to put the assistant coach up. There you go, mate. Go and face that.
Yep.
But for him to say that, oh, no, we didn't actually give them instruction about, oh, don't drive on the up, or words to that effect, and I'm sorry if I'm twisting but it felt like that was the thought.
I think he did say we haven't given them instruction as to how to go about the batting, and yet they're over-prepared.
To me, that would be like saying to a State of Origin player, the first tackle won't hurt too much. You do everything you can to think that you are going to have to control yourself in that situation or deal with that situation a little bit better than what they are. Because after that, every single Australian player who has been spoon-fed bouncy pitches all throughout their junior career and senior career went, what?
Yeah. Well, it's like Nees's dismissals actually sum that up perfectly, in that he's spent most of his career bowling at the Gabba.
The caught and bowls one.
He knows exactly where to pitch the ball, and if players are going to try and drive him hard down the ground off that length, he's going to catch it, because he knows where that ball's coming back, because he's played so much there. So he's like, You hear that as a bowler, you're licking your lips and you go, righto, they actually don't know how to play us on this wicket. This is what I'm going to do.
With England, is it a personnel switch that needs to happen before Adelaide, or because they do have 9 days, it's just switching this thing upstairs?
I'm actually fascinated to watch it, and I know watching, the Fox coverage, there was quite a lot of commentary on, I would do this, I would change this, I'd not exactly do an upheaval, but I would make significant change, and I heard them talking about that. But that's not the way that they've approached this whole Bazball era. It's, you're going to back the players that we think can do the job. And they've done it for a long time. We've seen it with Zach Crawley. He's been in that role for a long period of time and people are yelling for him to go. All of a sudden they're not, because he's actually started quite nicely in this series to an extent. So,
but now Duckett's copping it.
Correct. So, but will they back him, or will they go against what they've done for the last couple of years and back their players in? I'm not sure. I think they're going to be forced to make some bowling changes. I think for those guys to back up, I know there's 10 days between games, but they bowled a lot of overs. Someone like Bryden Cast bowled a lot of overs. Jofra, let's see how he pulls up. He looked a little bit stiff and sore at the back end. Ben Stokes can't afford to bowl that many overs, I don't think. No. So they might look at it. I actually really rate Josh Tongue. I said it before sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I've heard different pronunciations. I watched him over in England, and I thought he'd be a really good matchup against this Australian side, bringing the ball back in. It's still rare in the men's game to see someone do that. So I would love to see him have a crack at it. But other than that, Will Jacks look really good, so I think he would be potentially one to stay, and it's whether or not they want to make some significant change to that top order. I'm not sure. Yeah,
Will Jacks certainly a positive the way they went about it. Ben Stokes, like how he just hung in there as well as he could. Well, I say hung in. He actually didn't give it much of a chance until he got out.
Yeah.
But Joe Root's another positive, obviously. Yeah. So now he can hold it together. It's just those ones around him. If they can get 450 on the board.
But that's always been the talking point, is that Joe Root and Ben Stokes are always going to be the guys that dig in, and they allow the guys around them to play their shots. But if all of a sudden you're removing those two, then what do they got? So Joe Root making 100 in the first innings is a big step forward. Doesn't make many in the second. They're in strife.
Should he have declared on night one?
No.
Yeah.
I was watching it and I thought to myself at the same time, what are they doing? Like, they should be having a bowl right now. But then at the end of the day, I thought those 60 runs actually could come in handy. Yeah. And ultimately they almost did when you think about it. If Mitch and Scotty and the tail order didn't have that partnership, those 60 runs actually really could have counted. So I thought they actually batted really well and kept the Aussie bowlers out there, which I think is just as important.
So that to me was, Bazball. Like, okay, make a positive imprint on the game.
Yep.
Because the fallback is that we can still make a positive impact with the ball.
Correct.
If you swing at one, you get castled. We've got half an hour at them.
Well, you also think, I was looking at it going, Mitch shouldn't be bowling these 4 overs. Like,
you always say that.
No, but you look at that perspective and you're like, why are we bowling our
main guy,
our two premier quicks in this instance when they're going to slog them? You're just sort of burning them out. Those 4 extra overs didn't end up mattering in the end, but that was where I thought it was actually quite tactically smart. Keep them out there a little bit longer, take as many as you could possibly get, and if we have a chance to bowl, you beauty.
You gave Alex Carey a little bit of credit before saying that Mitch deserved the man of the match, but
12 out of 10, Alex.
Dude, I was going to say.
Mitch was 12 and a half.
Alex Carey's keeping performance was?
Well, I sent him a message and the first word's an expletive, but I said, you're good. Like in the women's game, we have to keep up to the stumps a lot. They're maxing out at sort of 110. There's probably the limit where you're doing that. To do that consistently up over the stumps to someone bowling mid-130s off a length, and to just back yourself and to be as clean as what he was, that was just a remarkable performance. And, that's not something he would practice either. Like, I doubt, he's practicing his technique off, some tennis balls, not coming at that quickly, just making sure you're in the right positions. But to him to execute under pressure, I've never doubted that he's the best wicketkeeper in the world. I've never, ever thought anything other than that, but I think he's just proven it.
How do you get so good at that? Like, what are you telling yourself standing up to the stumps?
Watch the ball.
It's a little bit of pace. Like, it's remarkable. You see baseball catchers, obviously they're they do that, but
The ball's not bouncing.
the ball's going to end up in a square that big 9 times out of 10.
Yep.
Alex has got a metre each side to potentially cover and then a metre up.
Yep.
Like how...
It's genuinely technique, and he's flawless in that regard. He works really, really hard on it. He's strong. He's fit. He's capable enough to do that for long periods of time, which helps, obviously, the physical side of it. But his technique is just perfect, and that's what you're trusting at that moment in time, is that you're in the right position to catch that ball, and he was 9 times out of 10.
So you're talking like squats, glutes, all of those things. If you're not in prime condition, you got no hope of doing that.
No one's in prime condition, let's be real, and can get the job done. I mean, there's plenty of keepers around the world that are doing that, not in prime nick, but his technique...
20 overs standing up to the stumps.
His technique is flawless, and he falls back on that he knows his body's going to be in the right position at the right time, and then you trust your head and your hands to be in that position where your body is, and that's what I mean about it's flawless at the moment. And that's just simply by working really hard at doing the basics, which he does probably better than anybody else. But yeah, I think that was a game changer to have those guys back in their crease for an extended period of time. Brought some of those dismissals into play, and I thought, that was cool.
Very cool. It was interesting how Australia went about trying to break the partnership of Jackson Stokes when it was like, if this gets to 120, this could be yucky, or 150, a bit of rain about and the ball moving around at night. But for Alex to stay up there and then Steve Smith to take that catch, I mean, come on. Like and that was pretty much the first chance in a very long time that Australia had, and you take it after being in, again, I'll go back to the heat. I know cricketers are very used to playing in the heat, but the powers of concentration to be aware of that when it happens was just remarkable.
Well, and that's what I said earlier about we're able to hang in the contest longer than England. Ben Stokes is known for being really proactive. If the plan's not working, he's going to change it. He's going to try something new, whereas we had a plan, stuck with it. Steve Smith made some really interesting, field movements around the joint, maybe just to play with their heads a little bit, but ultimately the goal was the same with Carey up to the stumps. It's to attack off stump, and if we get a little bit of nibble either way, they're out LB or they're going to nick one and back yourself to catch it. And I think there was an instance, was it late in the day that one went between Smith and Root, and that was like a sheer moment of concentration lapse, probably on both parts. It went split right between them, don't get me wrong. But in that moment, Steve Smith takes that catch. And they're the fine margins in Test cricket where you miss out on that opportunity. He takes that one and the game changes significantly.
I'm convinced a lot of the English couldn't pick up the ball in the crowd. I'm absolutely convinced, sitting there and watching some of the reaction times. You say that was a concentration thing with Jamie Smith, but just the guys in the outfield, there was, I think was it Cass who'd just bowled an over and he'd given everything, and then he just flat out didn't, or he dropped a dolly, and then he flat out didn't see a ball 2 balls later. It's
not that I've played a lot of cricket at the Gabba, but it's a hard viewing ground, red ball in particular as well, I should say, in the seats and the people, and it's like it's quite in your face. Obviously, you've also got, when you think about the modern game, you've got advertising boards right the way around now that aren't stationary. They move, they flick, they change colour all the time. So that's added another level to Test cricket. And then you throw in the pink ball, which is quite hard to see at the best of times. I mean, we played one at Metricon. It has red seats.
Good times.
So that was really hard to pick up, and it's almost like you see the back end of the ball more than anything else. It's quite interesting. So yeah, I get that, but I mean they had how many days up there to prepare for that, and I get you can't prepare for everything, but surely they're catching balls under lights with those seats. And a guy with a big mullet moving around behind the sight screen.
Yeah,
I mean, surely you're practicing that stuff. And if they're saying they're over-prepared, they were doing those things.
Yeah. Got to say, Gabba.
Fun.
Please be very careful, Queensland Cricket and Cricket Australia, with what you try and make the Victoria Park Stadium into, because what you have there at the Gabba...
It's so cool, isn't it?
...is a fun place to go and watch cricket.
Yep.
Because there's not a bad seat to watch it.
Yep.
The atmosphere stays in. Carnival atmosphere, pubs around. It's a hard thing to replicate because, with all due respect to Optus Stadium, a little bit soulless compared to.
Yeah, it's cool. I've actually got one of my biggest standing ovations at the Gabba.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
because you're a Queenslander, of course.
No, I was up there watching Mitch, and I carried, I think maybe 5 or 6 beers back to my seat because I had 2 in my mouth because I was trying to find my ticket. And I walked back in and I had one in my mouth, and the security guard was like, "Do you need a hand?" I was like, "No, I got this." And I walked back in, and the whole, I reckon it was around where the Star Wars people were, that's where we were sitting, stood up and applauded me as I sat back down.
Yeah. You would have got player of the match for that.
It's a fun place to be, and then you can wander back into South Bank after and go to the plough in and enjoy, putting shit into the English fans. It's a fun place to be, a fun environment to sort of watch sporting in.
Yeah. Oh, we look forward to Adelaide, which itself has some charming
also
characteristics. Fun. Yes. And you're literally 5 minutes away from more fun across the river. That's the beauty of Adelaide. You walk everywhere. So looking forward to it. But before we go to a little break, that was the summary so far. We'll do more summarising later in the week with Brad Haddon. And we've got Travis Head joining us later in the week as well. Our Liquorland moment of the match. Heels, what do you reckon?
What's yours?
Steve Smith's catch, not only for the absolute skill and audacity of the grab, but it came at a moment where we were starting to worry, and the Barmy Army had just done a magnificent rendition of one of their great songs for like 10 minutes, and you saw Marnus and Travis Head like even going, "Oh, this is pretty cool, this is fun, it has a great rhythm to it," and they just broken into their Barmy Army song, and then bang, that catch happens. And with all due respect to the English, we love that they're out here providing atmosphere. I looked across to their bay, and everyone, all of a sudden, it was like the music went off, and they were all left without a chair in musical statues. It just flipped everything on its head, and a sheer moment of magic from Steve Smith. So that was mine.
Well, I was actually going to go with Alex Carey's catch up to the stumps, but that followed on from that moment, so we can't really have 2 in the space of 10 minutes.
Why not?
I mean, it's hard to go past old mate Malay and the sight screen. I mean, they're a fair way away from the sight screen, him stopping play. So for him to stand out as much as what he did coming down the stairs shows obviously what a character that bloke is.
But it was Stephen Peter Devereaux saying it, who sometimes can see things 3 suburbs away.
Yeah, Hawkeye over there. But no, you know what? I'm going to go with Jofra Archer bumping Steve Smith 6 over the short side, straight over Fine Leg's head. Probably not the smartest play I've ever seen in the game at the moment to one of the best batters in the world. So I'll take that.
It was a little addition to everything, and a 4 and a 6.
Just the way he went, knew it was coming and followed it, and it's literally a 40-metre hit that way. Like
First one, then next one.
Yep.
So +46 is the country code for Sweden. So I might call Jofra Sweden. That was our moment of the match. Thanks to Liquorland. Score more this summer with Liquorland. Choose to drink wise. We are off to a little drinks break. Back in a moment with Sundries and Secret Cricket Club questions. Women's Big Bash, the finals is set, as we said at the top of the program, Heels. You guys got off to a flyer at North Sydney. I'd imagine that deck was pretty flat after a 42-degree day the day before. So conditions suited batting, and you just held on.
Yeah, I was actually, interestingly enough, I would have been keen to bowl. I walked out there and had a look at the wicket first up. I was chatting to the groundies. They wanted to replicate the game we played previous to that, which ended up being quite high scoring as well, because they've left a little bit of grass on the wickets at North Sydney of late. Does a little bit with the newer ball. So I would have been keen to bowl, but we lost the toss, got sent in, and were none for about 130 or 1 for 130. So decent. I still, like, as harsh as this may seem, we actually haven't done our team review yet, so they can turn on to Willow talk. So we might have been a little bit short. We kind of let ourselves down in the last 4 overs, but Pez's knock was outstanding, and like I said, you're never ever out of the fixture at North Sydney Oval, no matter if they need 12 and over. You still back yourselves in your batters to get that at the back end, and the strikers proved that, and we'll take the win off the last ball.
How quick is everything going in the last over when it's getting a bit tight?
Yeah, it's that's part and parcel of T20 cricket too, and you know the clock's on and it moves. It's there all the time now, and it's counting down, so you're literally aware of how much time you got, but that's where you bank on your experience to be able to slow the game down. And, we got Ash Gardner with the ball, who I thought tactically was really good, was spot on, like missed her mark by maybe 20 centimetres, but made Bridget Patterson hit to the right side and ultimately got the job done. But you're doing everything you can to slow the game down there as a Sixers player, which I think we did beautifully.
Is DRS not working?
Oh, mate, don't get me started. Yeah.
Far out.
The ball tracking was down at one point when we had a very nice LB shout on Talia McGrath, but she got out the next ball. So,
at least it's not a ball in the middle of the pitch going under a roller at innings break.
The WBBL just continues to deliver in
Are you hexed or what? What's going on?
Comical scenes. But look, we're in the final stage now. Let's hope these 3 games go smoothly.
Exactly. So Stars heading to Perth to take on Perth Scorchers on Tuesday, and then whoever wins gets the prize of a plane trip to Sydney.
The red eye to Sydney, I would assume.
Red eye.
Well, I would try and get the red eye because they're playing Tuesday. Yeah. The game's Thursday.
Yeah.
You're better off getting on a plane, getting to Sydney, I would have thought.
Sleeping.
Yeah, so I'll be interested to see. It's tough schedule-wise. A lot of teams either hope that Perth don't make the finals or they finish first because then you're flying to Perth at the end. But it's tough. But that was the beauty of it. I said at the top of the show. I mean, we could have not been knocked out of finals yesterday, but now we finished second, so it's just been a bizarre year.
North Sydney Oval?
Thursday night, how good.
What do you... One of these, do you want? Or
depends who we're playing, I reckon.
You're going there right now to help out with the horticulture?
The Stars just put 219 on us last time we played there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So we will wait and see what is going to be in front of us. But, look, I just hope it's a great atmosphere and people show up, which they more often than not do. But for us to be hosting a final, we haven't done it for a little while, so this should be good fun.
Yeah. I'd come along, but I'm not going to be in the country, so sorry.
Cheers. Joel's coming. It's fine. Got him a ticket.
Producer Joel.
Yep.
Get Hads along. Zach Hatton can go and learn a few things as well.
Yep.
Hurricanes waiting in the final. So we look forward to see what transpires throughout the week with the WBBL. The men's Big Bash is just around the corner.
Yeah, I can't believe how quickly that snuck around. I was talking about it on the TV yesterday, and I was like, oh yeah, it's December.
Different schedule. Ends really early this year. Third week of January, I'm pretty sure, is finals week.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's all squashed together.
Well, oddly enough, they play the same amount of games as we do, but they have 2.5, I think 3 weeks extra in the competition.
Not time for golf.
Go figure. So I'm not sure they're playing 3 games in a week, are they? That's
and
the
not
way.
at 9 o'clock in the morning either. How's that when you have to get up at 6? To go play, or you don't? It just reminds you of junior cricket when you were out there at 8 a.m.
Well, actually, a cool story from the early fixture in Melbourne. I went to Brekkie. I was like, I'll just sit in actually and just have a bit of granola and a coffee, and in strolls Min Woo Lee.
Hey,
oh, good. So I was staying down the road for the Oz Open, so that was really cool to bump into him, and he shot 6 under that day. So I'm taking all that credit.
As you would.
Yep.
As you would. Poor Cam
But
Smith.
yeah, the old 10 a.m. It's a killer. I won't lie.
Yeah,
it's a killer.
I bet. At least you're done early.
True. You don't have to wait around all day.
Freeze up the night.
Yep.
Really, really good weekend for English cricket in Brisbane. By the way, Australia Ray won by an innings and 120 odd. The England Lions. Fergus O'Neill took 4. Jai Richardson another wicket to go with his few in the first innings, which is good. I'm expecting Jai to be named in that squad for Adelaide as well. That's
You've
the
got
whisper
the
up there. That's the whisper.
You've got the media goss.
Yes. See what happens with that one. But it's good to have options, and all of them are not very good news for England. But anyway,
I think it'll be nice to have him around the squad again, just to probably be around that group, put a lot of time and rehab into the kid, and it's nice to see him firstly playing cricket again. But it would be nice to have him around the group and sort of just soaking in that atmosphere again.
Nathan McSweeney, unbeaten 226, which is awesome to see. We discussed it on the weekend with Callum Ferguson on Willow Talk. But Jacob Bethel made runs in the second innings there. So at least there's an option if they are going to. I can't see them making a change to their top 6.
You can't.
Given how much they've been rock solid with them throughout. But at least there's an option there for them.
Yeah, there is. And they've spoken very highly about him for a long period of time and almost put pressure on Ollie Pope right along the way. Obviously, then shift the vice captaincy away from Ollie Pope as well.
Not a great sign.
Screams that you're in strife. But Yeah, I find it hard to think that they'll make that change, but it's Bethel making runs in that fixture does help them a little bit in that regard.
And Shield, quick wrap. Victoria men got it done over Western Australia men by 6 wickets. New South Wales pumped Queensland in the end. Queensland made 181 in the second innings. Under strength, it must be said. Queensland side, they've got a few players in their test. But a win's a win.
Take the points.
And South Australia beat Tassie by 10 wickets as well. So big win for South Australia. I reckon Jake Lehman made some runs in that first innings.
Liam Scott as well.
Yes.
So another New South Welshman. Good boy.
There you go. Yeah, they are. Like I was rolling through it with someone at the test about South Australia. Oh, the great Laurie Colliver, who is still pumped about the fact that he got to call the winning runs. So he works with Fox Cricket. Laurie is an absolute genius with his numbers, but he calls a bit, and he's a bloody good caller, Loz, and he got to call the winning runs, and I went, oh, Loz, it's great for South Australia to win. Geez, you've got a good recruiting strategy down there with all your players. And he goes, oh, settle down. We've got heaps of West South Australians in there. I went down them, and he went, oh, yeah.
All these teams get really defensive about that, don't they? But it wins them trophies, so go for it.
But the thing is about their side, they've gone there, and South Australian cricket has bettered them.
Correct.
So they deserve all
and that's
credit.
Quite literally, that's all you can ask for when you're letting young players in your system go, is that they go and they learn, they grow, and every single New South Welshman that's gone there has gotten a lot better, which is cool.
Yes, for South Australia. Secret Cricket Club, brand us. Are you taking credit for Mitch's batting, and was that your bat?
No, I'm not taking credit for Mitch's batting. I will take credit for the wicket, though, because he made 77 and it's a cracking number. And
someone did point that out.
someone messaged me. I was actually driving at the time, and Apple CarPlay was going off. Bzz, 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 all my messages coming through. And I was like, obviously didn't do it while I was driving because I was driving and I'm sensible, but I was like, Mitch has done something very good here. Anyway, but I did reply to someone and said, like, he didn't get 100.
Oh, did you? Yeah. You are a horrible person.
Oh, I'm such
and a horrible
mole.
wife.
I'm such a mole, but God, he looked good. I actually genuinely, and I think I take credit for his wicket, and I'm mad at myself for it because I actually thought at that moment in time, he's going to make 100 here, like he was on.
He knew it as well.
No, I know.
There was no hint of a bat raise to the standing ovation when he walked off.
Yeah.
It was bat held halfway up the bat.
Yeah.
And he just looked at the ground the whole. He had the shits.
But I mean, people are going to judge me for that comment, but you don't understand what it's like living in my household when I'm the batter and he's a bowler and he can get a test 100 before me. That's not cool. Let me have this one, guys. Like, Christ. But I'm very proud of him nonetheless, and I thought he did a fantastic job.
No pressure in Perth for you. It wasn't your bat though. It was his?
No, he doesn't. He uses my bat in like T20 cricket because it's a little bit lighter. I know. I heard Mark Waugh, say on
Fox Cricket
that he's like, God, too short, isn't it? And I'm not sure that Mark Waugh understands it. And we've had this discussion in person that we use the same size bats. So I use the same shape as Marnus, and so does Mitch. Doesn't use a long blade. He just uses a short handle like normal people.
It's just way too tall for it.
Yeah, it's the same size, just a little bit lighter.
Secret Cricket Club. Chloe asks, how did you feel when Ash threw the ball your way?
Yeah, well, funnily enough, I actually apologised to Ash after because I yelled at her to throw my end because it was clear that the run out was going to be on at my end, but she could have taken the stumps at her end as well. So basically I've got the credit for that run out, but I shouldn't have. But it gave me Drummoyne Oval vibes back in WBBL 2 or whatever it was. So it was kind of nice.
I'm a big believer, by the way, this is totally off topic, of the double play in cricket.
Yeah, I agree. But
bring it in.
But in
Big Bash.
If you were really smart in that moment, like you'd take both ends just in case. But if there's time. But obviously it was touch and go.
Touch and go. Mungus asks, do you think Mitch needs a rest and have Cummins replace him or power through? Mungus, I actually believe there is more chance of Darwin being blanketed by snow on Christmas Day than that happening.
Appreciate your question, Mungus, but does he need a rest? Yes, he's got 10 days of it. Will Cummins replace him? No. Good luck trying to take a red ball out of Mitch's hands.
We will discuss later in the week about what the 11 might look for Australia. Hads has tried again. Just bloody back off.
He's at the plough-in.
He is. He's somewhere. Hedges asks, what are your thoughts on the shit over rates? Does something need to change? I know what needs to change.
No,
But I'll let you discuss first.
No, I don't. We got a result in 4 days of cricket. So I think if we're turning into draws, maybe. But right now, like, the cricket is absorbing enough that I don't think people are complaining about losing 15 overs of cricket, paying their ticket. They're watching some pretty good test cricket.
And it's helping bar sales at the ground as well because gloves can't come out. Oh, cool, I've got time to go back there. In your case, bring 6 beers back and 2 in your mouth.
But that's not slowing it down. It's like you look at the way this test match panned out, not a lot of spin got bowled.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pace bowling. It's hot.
They were 8 down in the first dig. They were lucky because Steve Smith would have copped it.
Yeah.
They were only 1 down. Australia, I'm talking about, only 1 down. But the irony is England had a better over rate, but they'll maybe cop something because it was inside the 80. I think it's 160 cumulative. So maybe they won't. But I get the feeling if they want to change something, maybe go, okay, your over rates are judged every 40 overs.
Yeah.
And then we pile them up. But
I think they almost need to look at it, and if you're genuinely slowing play down, let's look at a slow over rate. But I think in that instance, it didn't seem like it, apart from maybe Steve Smith on the first night, no one was deliberately trying to.
Yeah, that was a little obvious.
Yeah, but it was funny. It was great. It was like, but you're allowed to do that, unless you're deliberately trying to slow the game down. Like, crack on. We're getting results. Who cares?
Okay, Noel asks, and this is a good question from a well-meaning father. What is the best way to explain to my 8-year-old why you guys are laughing about putting Mitch's balls in a cabinet?
Probably because it's under lock and key.
Noel,
Too far.
all I can say is give yourself 5 years and then go into it. Just move on. Buy your kid an ice cream and go, you'll figure it out one day.
I think, Noel, your 8-year-old might come to you one day and go, I get it.
Okay. Jace asks, what's the best beer in Australia?
Well, I'm a Stoningwood gal.
Yeah.
Pacific Ale. But I tell you what is rivaling that at the moment, the Bolter Cerveza. Mick Fanning, kudos to you, pal. Thanks for providing that.
Kudos to him for selling out for
good on him.
A lot of zeros at the end of that
mate. It's good beer.
And Aaron said, final Ashes score prediction, go. What'd you say at the start of the series?
I either said 4-1 or 4-0, and I'm going to stick with it. I actually am not sure that, I feel like Sydney's going to get all its rain in the next 10 days, so I actually think that we'll see all 5 through, so I'm going to go 5-0.
Fair enough. We'll wait and see. We're back with Travis Head later in the week. Hads, maybe, if he makes it back from Brisbane. It's questionable.
We'll soon find out. We'll answer his phone call.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And Heels will be here, training dependent.
Yep.
We think. Yep. So thank you very much. Also, we might try and get someone from an England perspective just to ask WTF, essentially. Please follow us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Leave us a review or comment. Have a good week.
See you soon.
Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.